Simplicity is a characteristic of aesthetics. Too many ideas, variations of the same idea, or too many details confuse the observer. Keep the painting simple. To simplify what you are seeing, you need to be selective. This selection process pursues the idea that you should have about what you are painting, your concept. And this idea has to go beyond copying what you are seeing, because if you include everything that you can see, then the painting becomes something impersonal, with no particular interest. In other words, the selection process is your way of looking at things, and this requires some creativity, discernment, and empathy with what you are seeing. It seems complicated, but in reality it is not, because it has to do with the elements that you like the most. Examples of these concepts could be the way the light falls on the shapes, a particular color scheme, a certain amount of air or atmosphere, a certain amount of texture on the shapes, a type of edge, or amount of contrast between the light and the shadow. It can be any other effect that impresses you. We all have our preferences. In this sense, knowing yourself is the most important thing. One way to find out your preferences is by visiting museums and cultivating your taste for those paintings that most attract your attention. Try to determine the common elements of the paintings you like, as these will indicate your preferences. Note that these concepts are abstract in nature. It is important not to confuse these visual concepts with the subject or the things in the paintings, which could be portraits, landscapes, still life, seascapes, and others. You may have noticed that the divisions of values and colors that I have been explaining since the beginning of this course do not really exist. All values and colors are a continuity. I have used these graded divisions as an intermediate teaching resource to lead you toward an abstract thinking that is fluid and loose. This introduces you to a feeling or experience that is acquired with the constant practice of painting. Eventually, you should see the values and colors as a continuity and not as specific grades or levels. While mastering the color wheel, let yourself be guided by your instinct in order to see the shape or topography of the model and determine its color temperature, value, and hue. Develop this habit, and very soon you will feel comfortable as you mix each paint and apply it to the corresponding shape. This way you can paint anything that is in front of your eyes and not just something in particular. The clothing of the model should generally not attract more attention than the face. In other words, when painting your model's clothes, you must be careful not to overdo the intensity of the colors, the contrast of the values, and the shapes. Notice the shirt pocket. The color of it has not only been grayed out, but its shape is blurred so that it does not compete with the face. The designs on clothing, hat, or cap must be subordinate to the face. Notice that the design of the cap is not only blurry, but it's also darker in the local shadow. The hues on the hat emphasize my color scheme with dominant analog greens and complementary reddish parts of the skin. Also, the impasto in the light of the hat makes it look more sculptural and aesthetic. The brim at the front of the hat has a firm or hard edge so that it looks closer to the observer. The closer the objects are, the more defined they look. Even on the hat, the local shadow looks warmer than its lighted side. Your progress in oil painting depends a lot on your attitude towards it. You will inevitably take pride in your progress as the quality of your paintings increases. To continue improving, a lot of study, practice, and visits to the best museums are required in order to observe closely the great works that the great masters have left us. Live and enjoy the experience of what you're painting at the moment. Play with the paint by moving it with your brush to solve the problems you find. You should know that there is always a relationship in the painting problems you find. First, as your powers of observation sharpen, you will solve the most common problems of value, hue, texture, and temperature. But then, these solutions will become part of more complex problems such as composition and balance. All these experiences in turn will be integrated into the solution of problems that have to do with the experimentation of your ideas. Gaining experience takes time, so don't worry about the final outcome. Oil painting is all about feeling the plasticity of the medium. Just enjoy the ride. Always remember that the main purpose of painting is enjoying yourself.